Hi everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingersFlyShop.com. If you like Holsinger's Fly Shop on Facebook, you will maybe have seen our live post on there. We started doing some live feeds. We wanted to show off some new products we're carrying in the shop, and this is an example of it. We're carrying some Hemingway products now. This is a stonefly, a black stonefly using Hemingway products. You can see the legs and the tail in the back here. I'm going to show you how to tie with this stuff. It makes a really nice pattern, a simple way to tie a stonefly. What we're going to use on this is we're going to use an 1870 Daiichi hook in a size 8, swimming nymph hook, wet nymph, and there we go, lost my focus. And the first thing we're going to tie on is our black thread. I'm using 140 denier black thread, and we're just going to put our thread on, wrap it back to the back. Now for this fly, to get the length right, where I want to put my tail on was be just above the barb here, just in the barb area. Right about there. I don't wrap this down because I'm using components that have a certain length to them, so I gotta watch where I put it. The next thing I'm going to be using is from Hemingway products. It's Stonefly Nymph's tail. Okay, I'm using the large size in black. You catch that there that I used the large. Let me get you a close up of there's the tail. And there you can see there's a little tag on it. We're going to set that tag just on the side. I'm going to try to get it laid the way that the bottom lays right on it there. And it'll roll over just a hair. So put it just over the side just a little bit and let it roll over. And then we're just going to tie that down. It's that simple to tie your tail on there, okay? This is all about making the pattern a lot simpler to tie. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put on is some ultra wire in brassy sized in black. I'm going to cut off a strip about, I don't know, about 4 inches long maybe, and that'll be too long, but better to be too long than too short. So I'm just going to put it down on the side there and wrap it down and hang it back off the tail here. Okay, the next thing we're going to tie on is buds and backs. From the color here is pale. You can see the nice detail in this, and here you can see there's a little tag end at the back of the tail part and at the head. We're going to tie these down on it. Okay, so all you do, they're little stickers. They come in a pack. We're just going to pop one of them off. Like I said, we have them at the shop. We carry them in pale, yellow, and black or brown. I think it's black. But there you can see the little white tag. I'm going to put that little white tag. I'm going to tie it down, bottom side up, I should say. And I'm going to set it. You can see where I'm setting it there. So that's a little far forward. I want to bend it over right at the beginning of that tail. So when I put my dubbing on, that's way too far forward. This is one of the hard parts about tying on a video. You can't always see the best what you're doing by looking down on the fly, because you're trying to keep the camera at a good angle for you guys. And there you can see now I have it where when I bend it over, it's going to bend right at the tail. Okay, so we're just going to wrap that down good. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some lead on. Okay, and I'm just using 0.015 lead wire. And we're just going to wrap it. I'm going to start it somewhere about the middle. And I'm going to wrap it up here towards the head. That's good. And I just like to get some weight on these. Usually this is my bottom fly on my nymph leader. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to wrap this down, just wrap it into place so it stays. Okay, now the next thing I want to do, I want to bend this over and I want to see where it comes to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a little black spot there in my lead. So I know you can see that black spot. That's where I'm going to wrap my dubbing to on here. So I can just do that section of the body. And we're going to level this out just a hair. And come back here to where we stop the tail at. Now, I like using, you see me use it in the videos all the time, high-tack wax from Loon. This is my favorite wax to use. It's real tacky and the dubbing sticks to it real nice. For dubbing, we're going to be using emergence dubbing from Nature Spirit, Black Stonefly. And we're just going to dub some of this on our string. And it's going to take a good bit because this is a big size 8 stonefly here. This is a searching pattern for me. You know, I like to have a stonefly on, especially in the springtime. It's just natural bait in my area. Now, I'm tying this one in black just to give you guys something different to see, because I usually tie a golden one, and I have a couple golden stonefly pattern variations out there, so just trying to give you something different this time. So we're just going to dub some black on here. And you can't see it on the video really great, but there's a lot of red mixed in with this black that gives it, it's not really a straight black, it gives it a nice color. Dub a little bit more. Remember, I got to get up here to my little black spot, my marker. Okay, I really like this emergence dubbing. I've been using it in a bunch of my patterns lately. There's some antron in it, which gives it a little bit of flash. So it gives it a little bit more of a lifelike, flashy look to it. And the main thing, important thing here is keeping it nice and smooth, no clumps in it or anything like that. Now I got a nice smooth body here. Gets a little bit bigger towards the front. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this over. And I'm going to hold this down on top at the front, okay? You can put a tack of glue on it if you want. Usually with this one, I just hold it down in place. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lead wire, and I'll show you here in a second. But I'm going to put a soft loop in the first one. Otherwise it'll fall down off. The next spot, I'm going to get a little bit tighter. And I'm going to turn this over. You can see on here, let me make sure I get it right on straight on the back. But you can see there's little white lines here. Okay, each one of these white lines I'm going to replace with my black lead wire. So I'm going to make sure I twist this to keep it on the top of the fly, because when you pull it tighter it'll tend to twist around on you. Okay, and then I'm just going to, like I said, cover each one of those white lines with my lead wire, or if you want, you don't have to use a lead wire, you could use thread. I just prefer to use the wire. And I'll turn this back around here for you in 1 second to show you what I mean. The lead just gives you a nice wrap, and it stays in place nice. Okay, then I'm just going to wrap this lead wire around there. My wire was a little bit short, so it worked out fine there. Otherwise I would have just twisted it off. But there you can see each one of those little black lines I covered up with a lead wire, so it gives it a really nice rib look. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, what you could do if you want, a lot of my stonefly patterns I tie biots for the antenna on this. I'm not going to tie it. I like to have antenna on them usually. I don't know how important it is. I've had this discussion with some of my fly fishing friends, and you know, some of them never put them on, and they catch just as many fish as I do, so we're not going to put it on this one. But if you would, use some black biots, shoot one out each side of the eye. What I just did now is I covered this up, got it all nice and round. The next thing I'm going to do, nice and smooth, I covered my lead up, smoothed it all out. The next thing we're going to add is from Hemingway again. It's Stonefly Nymph rubber legs. This time we're using size medium in the black color. Okay, and you can see here they come in a long strip, and you're going to slice off there's 3 legs to each fly. So in one long strip you have 3 pieces. You have 3 sets of legs. So you're just going to slice them off And I got one already cut ready to go here. And I'll try to hold it here so you can see it good. There's one section snipped ready to go. Now, on the back side of this, you can see there's a groove. That groove is going to sit right on top of your thread base. Okay, and we're going to tie this down. It fits on there really, really nice. I'm just going to set it on top. I'm going to loose loop it down to get it into place and keep it from twisting around. Just put a couple wraps, you know, back through it here. I like to put this down before I dub. I like to dub over top of it. Some guys, I've seen other guys will put the dub down and then put the legs on top of it, and this ends up being right underneath the next part here, and I prefer it. I think it looks a little bit more realistic if it comes out of the dubbing lower in the body than at the top of the body. So I'm just going to work my way around here in and out between the legs, covering this all up. Okay, now that I got that covered all up, you can see there, I just wrapped in between all them legs. And the next thing we're going to put on is the top part. We're going to peel this off, and there's another tag on here. We're just going to wrap that tag down again. Okay, but before we wrap that tag down, okay, the back section of this, right here, just this back one, I like to cut just a little notch in each one for my thread to fall down into. This, you can see there's really no need for a notch. It's set down in here, but this is pretty wide, and when you wrap your thread over top of this, it'll pull this whole thing down, whereas if you cut a little release in each side of it, the thread will drop in between it, and it just works a little bit better. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to do this off camera because it's a bad angle for me. Just cut little notches on both sides of it, and by little I mean like 1/8 of an inch. Okay, now we're going to set this down on top, and these are tacky. There's a sticker backside on this, so they'll stick to your finger there a little bit. But behind the eye, I'm going to wrap this thing down, and making sure that it don't wrap over, that it don't twist around, and get it tight. And you can see there, I'm wrapping it in between the front two legs. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my thread back to the back. Get me centered back in here. Okay, I got my thread back here behind these back legs again. Now we're going to do some more dubbing. Just going to use the same color of the black. And we're going to be a little bit thicker on the front end of the fly here. Oops. Alright, so get this dubbed on here. Okay, and then we're just going to start covering up your hook. And what I like to do is I like to go under, when I cross in between the two legs, I like to cross underneath it, because that's where it's more visible. Like, that's where you want to make sure you get covered with your dubbing. There we go. And just got to keep working my way forward with this. It takes a fair amount of dubbing to get this part done here. This Hemingway products is really, really nice stuff. You're going to be seeing a lot more of this from me. We're going to start expanding our line of products with them, and they got some really, really neat stuff. If you ever been to the fly fishing show, they usually have a booth set up there and selling their products. They don't, well, take that back. They do sell their products there, but it's more displaying their products, I think, at the fly fishing show. And they have such realistic patterns that it's amazing how realistic it is and easy to tie. They carry one of my next videos, I should say, will be a Mayfly pattern using the same techniques as this, except tying a very small Mayfly. And I can't wait to fish it. I haven't got to fish it yet, but the realism is just incredible. And the big thing here, just watch with not trapping your dubbing. And now that I got this all covered, and you see I went pretty heavy on it here to get the bottom of it covered and stuff. Now that I got it covered, I want to get my thread back here to the back, right in here behind these legs. Now the next thing you can do, and I like to do this part, you don't have to, but I like to put a little touch of super glue right on the top here to hold this in place, especially the back end. What will happen if you don't put the super glue on? We're going to fold this back down over. If you don't put the super glue on, the back part of this wing casing here will tend to pop up on you. I've had this. That was the one issue that I've been finding. I'm just going to wrap one time. I put it in between those grooves that you saw me cut. Let me see if I can pop it out here and show you just where I mean. Okay, you see how when I made them grooves, my thread popped in between them grooves, and there you can see the thread right there. That's what you want. It just works out a little bit better. It's the glue that's actually wrapping it down and holding it tight there. But next I'm just going to come up and I'm going to put it in between this section. Just one good tight wrap, and then I'm going to come up and put it right behind the eyes. Another wrap. And then we're just going to come up and build a head. Okay, and once we get it up here to the eye, we're just going to whip finish it off. Alright, simple whip finish and we're done. I like to put 2 of them on there just for I don't know, a little bit stronger. And that is all that's to this very simple way to tie. Get it out here, show you. Get the right angle on it. There you go. There you can see how nice and natural looking that looks. You can see the detail in it. We just really are excited to be tying these. Let me show you the bottom side. There you go. How you got a nice looking bottom there. It's all covered up. That's why I say I always, when I wrap under to go in between the next 2 legs, I always wrap on the underside, not on the top side, because you want it all covered in between there. So that's a very simple way to tie a stonefly. When you're sitting here talking, if I wasn't sitting here talking the whole time, I could have whipped that out a lot faster. But thanks for watching. All the material you need to tie this fly you can find on our website at holsingersflyshop.com. So check us out there, like us on Facebook at Holsinger's Fly Shop, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep watching us. Thanks for watching us, everybody, and please continue to and support our channel. I'm Sean Holsinger.